Would you believe me if I told you I have been doing YouTube for 3 years? I mean, you probably would, because I talk about it a lot and it's probably the title of this video, but I've been doing YouTube for 3 years, and that's really weird. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. I know I literally just posted a redrawing old art video, but things just kind of worked out this way because my 3-year channel anniversary is— why did I say it like that? My 3-year channel anniversary is the day that you are seeing this video, if you're watching it, the day it's posted, and I really wanted to do something special because 3 is my favorite number. If I'm being honest, that's the main reason why. I could have done something for my 1 and 2 year anniversary, but I like the number 3. For my 3-year anniversary, I thought it would be really fun if I redrew the first ever speed paint that I made, which was a very different video from what I post now. I'd like to think I've improved. If you haven't seen my video, you can go watch it. I'll put it like in the iCard or something, and you can go and laugh at it because it's bad. But my first speed paint that I ever made was a drawing of Wendy Marvel from Fairy Tail. I feel like I never shut up about Fairy Tail, but I can't help it because I just love that show so much. I mean, at the same time, I kind of hate it, but I love that show so much. So I think it's very fitting that Wendy was the first speed paint that I've ever made, because not only do I really like Fairy Tail, but I feel like she's the character that embodies a lot of what I enjoy drawing. So I thought it would be an even more fun thing to draw her again because of all of that. I remember when I first started posting YouTube videos, I really wanted to draw my OCs and talk about my OCs, but since I had no subscribers, I thought no one would care. And look at me now. So again, I decided to draw Wendy. When I was redrawing this, I wanted to closely reference the original because there was a lot that I liked about it, and so it was more of just like the improvements that could be made now rather than making a whole new drawing. The main thing was the pose. The pose in the original is very stiff, and I just wanted to make it look a lot more flowy and a little bit more natural. So the main thing that I did for that is to raise the arms up. I thought the hands looked really awkward since one of them was completely behind her body and the other one was like behind her body, just barely peeking out. So I wanted to really show the arms in this drawing, especially the hands, because I feel like hands are something that I used to really try and hide, but now they're something that I actually kind of enjoy drawing. Which is a shocker, I know. Most artists hate it. I also wanted to add a little bit more movement to the drawing, because in the original I can tell that I was trying to go for that because of the way that the skirt is and the pieces of hair framing her face. I could tell that I was actually really trying to put that movement in there, but it's something that could definitely be pushed a little bit more. So I made those pieces of hair framing her face, I made them a lot more flowy, I made her hair in the back a little bit more curved, and I made the side of her skirt like poof up a little bit more, and that helps to add that movement too. I actually drew this drawing twice because I was redrawing it the first time and I just didn't like the way that it was coming out. Now, if you're making a drawing and you aren't happy with it, I will recommend just keep drawing it anyway because you never know what it'll turn up into, or at least like get farther into the drawing. So for this one, since it was going to be a finished illustration, I decided to draw as much as the line art, and if I got to the line art and I finished it and I still didn't like the drawing, then I would allow myself to redraw it. And then I got to the line art and I didn't like the drawing. It's not that I think the drawing itself was bad, I just feel like I could do better and it didn't really represent what I normally draw. And since this was my 3-year channel anniversary drawing, I wanted to get it right, so I decided to scrap it and I started again. I'll throw some footage of that up now if you want to see it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. The second drawing came out much better, and I like it a lot more. It's hanging up on my wall, just thought you should all know. And I think a part of that is because I had a better idea of what I wanted the drawing to be, because when I went into the first drawing, I knew I wanted to make some changes, but I wasn't exactly sure what the changes were. So in this one, I had a much more clear idea of what to draw. Again, I also raised the arms and the hands up. It just gives it more visual interest, and just like that movement, it also gives it more visual interest. And I believe I also tilted her head up a little bit more. It's not anything too drastic. Her head is just tilted up a little bit more, and I think she's looking up in like a different angle. So instead of looking to the side, she's looking like to the side and up. And again, I just think it gives more visual interest. When it's just a drawing of a person like this, I think it's really important to add those little details because, again, visual interest. Since it's not a finished background and there isn't like a lot to look at, it's important to just make it look as interesting as possible, I guess. One thing that I really like that I realized when I was redrawing this is that my style didn't really change at all. Like, I just kind of generally got better at art. Like, I feel like you can still tell that I drew the original one. It was just me at a lower skill level. But they still look like the same person, at least I think so. And I think that that's really cool, because I feel like when a lot of people are talking about improving their art, they talk about like changing their art style. And I think that that's really cool. I think the most different thing in terms of style though is the line art. The main thing is that I don't use black line art. There is a time and a place for it, but I feel like in general it's something that I really try to avoid doing now. I just really like soft looking art. I really like how the softer line art looks with like brighter colors, and so that's something that I really do in both my traditional art and my digital art. So my line art, when it's traditional, usually consists with a lot of browns, and then in digital I usually change the line art to a similar color to what's underneath it. I feel like black is just a really harsh color, and I feel like if you do go for browns or try and make the line art match if you're doing digital art, I think it just helps tie the colors in a little bit more. I also use purple line art. That's something that I do often, and it's a nice color to use for like a lot of, if there's like a lot of blues or cool colors. So I could have done it for this one, but I wanted a thinner liner and I only have one. So it's very sad, I know. Another difference is that there are more gaps in my line art. I get some questions every now and again as to why I don't close all of the lines in my line art, and literally the only reason is because it's a personal preference. There's no like, I just like the way it looks. I know that there are a lot of artists who work in digital art that make it a conscious effort to close all of their lines, so then that way they can use the paint bucket tool and it makes the coloring process a little bit faster. But a big thing that I really try to achieve in my art is to make everything look lively. And I think when I have less closed lines, it helps make it look more lively. So like, let's say you have a hand, and like take your hand and just wave it in front of your face really fast. You're not going to see like clear definitions of the hand, and now obviously that's like a very extreme example to give, but I feel like if I don't close all of my lines and use it less as like an outline and more of a guideline, if that makes any sense, that like it helps define the shape, but it's not a complete outline. I don't know if that even makes any sense, but that's what I think of when I see it. And again, it's just a personal preference. There's nothing wrong with closed lines, I just like to have open lines. One thing that definitely has not changed though is that I love really bright and vibrant colors. I think there was a period between this first drawing and the drawing you're watching me make now where I tried to make myself love desaturated and muted colors. And there are definitely times where that's the perfect color palette, and there are times where I love that. But as a general statement, I really love bright and vibrant colors. In this drawing, the colors are slightly more vibrant, just because I have a larger collection of markers now, so I was able to go that vibrant. So everything in this drawing is just a little bit more saturated. There's also a few more like subtle changes in my art style. Mainly, I don't go as crazy with the white gel pen. I can still get a little crazy with it, but it's something I've tried to cut back a little on. I used a lot of it. And I also use colored pencils now. When I was making this drawing, around that point, I would use pretty much exclusively not colored pencils. At the point of the first drawing, I would use pretty much just exclusively Copic markers. And like, I forgot that you can mix media. So when I remembered that I could do that, I've pretty much used colored pencils in every single Copic drawing just to add those little touches that I can't quite get with Copics. And then I also add washi tape to a lot of my drawings. If I'm not making a background of any sort, I usually add either a color block or washi tape because, again, visual interest. I think it's a lot more interesting than just a character in a white void, but also at the same time, I don't have to draw a full background for every illustration, and this is just a nice little touch to tie everything in together. Yeah, that's about all I have for the actual drawing, so I kind of want to talk about my channel a little bit, if you don't mind me getting all emotional and sappy, just because I have wanted to make YouTube videos since the moment I found out you can make YouTube videos. Like, not even as a career, and not even art videos, honestly, because it took me a while to find the art community on YouTube. Ever since I found out that it was just a thing that people did, I really, really wanted to make it. At the time, I couldn't because I was in a living situation where I was able to do that, and also I was 12, so thank God I wasn't able to do that. But I started posting videos right after my junior year of high school, so right before I was a senior, and now it's my full-time job. I feel incredibly lucky and incredibly blessed that I was able to come right out of high school to just do this, because it's a dream, really. There are so many artists here on YouTube that I look up to and I admire, or even if it's just on a more simple level of me really enjoying their content. I just think there's a lovely art community here on YouTube, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. When I posted this first video 3 years ago, I didn't think that I would have 80,000 subscribers, because we just hit that milestone, and it's insane to think about. I always thought that if I got this far, it would take a lot longer than 3 years, but you guys have just completely blown me away with all of the love and all of the support that you not only give to me, but to each other. Whenever there's like video premieres or the couple of live streams that I did, we all know how those went, I see you guys becoming friends. Like, I'll see people say like, hey, who here wants to be friends? Oh, I'll be your friend, here's my Instagram. And you guys will talk and be friends and talk about art, and that's incredible. And it's my favorite part about doing this by far, is that you guys have a sense of community, not only by me, but with each other. Yes, it means the world to me that you guys enjoy the art that I make, and it means the world to me that I can inspire you guys with the things that I make. But if there is anything that I am most proud of in the 3 years of me being on YouTube, is that you guys have formed a community that is so loving and so accepting and so willing to support each other. Again, you guys just constantly are blowing me away with how incredible all of you are. To not just me, but you yourselves. I am really happy that we can all create together, and I hope that you keep creating, because I'm not stopping anytime soon. Anyways, all of that out the way, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked the drawing in this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down literally anything. I normally say a specific thing, but let's just chat. Let's just talk. How you doing? If you are new here, that probably was a weird speech for you to hear, but hi, I'm Oliver. I post new videos every single Wednesday and bonus videos whenever you can, just like this one. I make fan art, I make my own characters. We have a fun time over here. And there will be my social media that's on screen now and linked in the description box below. If you can follow me on Instagram, I'd recommend that, because that is where I post my art, but if not, don't even worry about it. You can find a lot of my art just here on YouTube. And there will also be some videos on screen now and linked in the description box, not the description box, the iCard for you to check out if you want. I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have been watching for 3 years now, and I'll see you next week. Bye.